Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
An exciting time to be here at Gillette Stadium from 4:13 to 13:04. Are we interrupting your screen time, Paul?
Sorry, I was just looking to see if Stephon Diggs was a screen or a slant. Sorry, okay. I didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
The difference in energy between the two of you.
He wouldn't have 46 touchdowns or whatever he threw.
Yeah, I don't think the record would be as good
They'd be
either.
14-3.
I don't think so.
Fred,
Oh, okay.
who had the
Cardinals.
most 20-plus yard touchdown passes?
They were tied.
Stafford,
They're tied.
20-plus air yards. Air yards. I know. I have to nerd it up. Air yards.
My little fun research took me yesterday. I just started watching third and mediums, like third and through to six.
What did you do to him?
Okay, what do we got?
Maybe.
Jerry, we have a show to do. We need our guest in here. Would Stafford have won as many games for the team as May did?
I think he would have, yes, because he's an MVP.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, here we are at Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday at Gillette Stadium. It's Evan, Paul, Deuce, myself, Alex in the booth, getting ready for the LA Chargers. Right off the bat, I want to turn people to, have you posted your game?
No, that'll be tomorrow morning.
Oh, tomorrow morning. Okay.
Yeah.
When you post that, I would recommend people reading that and figuring out how the Patriots are going to beat the Chargers. So, show's over. We don't have, no, I'm only kidding.
I spent this one was a playoff game, right? Like, so we went all out. It's,
Yeah.
How many words you got?
There's like 4,000 words. There's 10 clips going in there.
Yeah, it's good.
This is come on. It was my first time
playoffs.
writing it for the playoffs.
Playoffs.
It had to be big.
Playoffs.
Talking
Love it.
playoffs.
All right. So we're going to be talking about the Chargers and this game coming up Sunday night. Sunday night game. And Paul, I heard that you
Sorry, Paul.
schooled the morning show on your station
I did not school anybody.
just to let them know that
Trying to give them a little of the insight that we read about yesterday. We talked a little bit about it on our show yesterday.
they
too.
were saying that the Sunday night game is the premier game and the Patriots are in it, and Paul had to tell them no, it's not the
the
premier
marquee
game.
matchup. And this was kind of news to me too. I always felt the same way that they were talking about it in the morning show with Fred and Hardy on the Sports Hub. But I guess there was a Chicago Sun-Times column that sort of detailed a lot of the league's thought process. And the number one matchup they deem is the 4:25 Sunday afternoon. That is the most watched game of the weekend in the NFL's eyes. And they wanted their best matchup to be in that slot, which was San Fran at Philly. They felt the Packers-Bears was their second best matchup. Normally, they would put that on the Sunday night. They decided to put it in Saturday night because they're trying to boost the popularity of the Amazon game, which is the streamed game Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Looking maybe for a younger audience, get the streaming involved, get the streaming numbers. You got to plus it up, plus it up. So that's what the reasoning was for putting that game. They feel like if they had put, like, say, Jaguars, Bills in that slot, maybe some people would have said, I don't have to see that one. But people feel like that there's enough of a draw with Green Bay, Chicago that people will not be like me and say it's streaming. That's not for me. I'll do something else Saturday night.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt you. I had heard that the networks were all fighting over Bears Packers, and the fact that they gave it to Amazon, there was a little bit of tension among the suits.
I got that impression from reading the story that I read today.
That
yes.
that they gave Amazon a cookie and said, "Here's Bears Packers," instead of like Panthers Rams or like some crappy game, relatively speaking, of course.
Yeah, and I thought the Patriots would be in that 4:25 Sunday slot. Obviously, they just flip-flopped it, and you get a marquee spot. And Matt Smith, No Sox, the famous No Sox, opined that because the Super Bowl is on NBC this year, maybe this is an effort to throw some crumbs to some of the other networks, knowing that the NBC is going to have the marquee of all matchups in the Super Bowl, regardless of who that is.
Yep.
So maybe this was an effort to please all of the partners.
Yep. So there's that. The other thing I want to bring up is, this talk, and it's more than just a few people. How are you going to feel if the Patriots lose? And, is it a disappointment? Is it a success? Is it a failure? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, why? What is this obsession of preparing us and figuring out how we're going to feel if they lose?
Yeah.
Like, I
Because
don't.
that's what you do. You set yourself up for failure.
Right. I
So that
don't
when
get
they
it.
win,
It's like,
you're happy.
let's worry about that then. The other thing and we were just talking, no socks, Paul, myself before, the AFC's wide open. We all agree with that.
I
Except
agree.
for maybe Pittsburgh, it's a pretty even field. There's going to be a loser in every one of these games, and it's going to come down to, bad call or turnover
Oh, jeez.
or whatever.
I'm so proud of you, Fred. That was right out of my
Not
playbook.
being outplayed. It's
But-
going to come
but-
down to
Bad call.
Right. Most of these games are probably going to be
No.
pretty close, I think.
I think they're all. Yeah,
They're
I think all
evenly-
these teams are pretty evenly
They're all
matched.
flawed. They all have their strengths. They all have their weaknesses. One team is going to lose every one of these games. So should that fan base all be, up in arms like they think the Patriots fan base should be because they missed this opportunity? It's an opportunity for every one of these teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just let's not, folks. Let's not worry about that. Let's be overjoyed with the fact that we're 14-3. We're in the playoffs. We're ahead of schedule. I don't care what anyone says. We're ahead of schedule, and let's take every game one game at a time and not worry about Monday. Let's worry about Sunday night.
I'm
And
worried
if
about
God
Monday.
forbid we lose, let's get ready for 2026. Oh God.
No.
I am 100% in the school of I hate losing more than I like winning.
Everybody.
And so I just absolutely dread losing. Like I dread everything about it. Like I think that just stinks all around.
It does. It's terrible.
So like I just think that for most of us, you just live in a fear of what if they lose, right? And like you just prepare yourself for that outcome because that's the worst possible feeling.
I go back to Paul's thing.
If you were a a soldier, and you're going into battle, or the
What if we all
person
die?
leading, the person leading those men and women into battle,
This is
would you go in with the mentality, what if we lose?
I mean,
no,
that is-
you go in like, we're going to
that
kick
is a
their
very
ass.
different
I mean,
situation.
I don't think Vrabel's doing that. But I go to, what does it look like though? That's like, I mean, yeah, they got hammered and like 56-0. Yeah, that would, but what if they go back and forth with this team and it's the last possession and the other team just makes an outstanding play? And, so I'm not going to get too worked up about the scenarios. The fact is they're here. This is a playoff week here. The energy is awesome. And it's just exciting to see them take a next step. And win or lose, you're going to stick with this team. And you want to see Drake may get some playoff experience. So, whether or not he comes up a little short or not this weekend, there's going to be positives.
I'm with Mike. I think that's a big part of it. I can't really envision a scenario where I'm like not going to be disappointed if they lose.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that just ignore the fact that they're way ahead of schedule and the future is bright and all that stuff. I mean, that's all. I think this comes down to specifically for Evan and I, there's such a gap in our ages. And Fred, that I spent a lot of my time not only rooting for the Boston teams, but rooting for Northeastern, which means I have a lot of losing and a lot of calloused, day after games, mentality.
West Point.
I don't necessarily dread losing more than I enjoy winning. I think they're kind of the same. They're opposite.
This is
polar
all a
opposites,
result of-
but I don't ever go into a game and say, "Oh my God, what if they lose?" I never do that.
This is all a
I
result
live my
of the
life like
dynasty,
that.
and I'll tell you why.
because you've done nothing but win.
Paul, tell me if I'm right or wrong here. 01 and 96, when the Patriots went on their run and got to the Super Bowl, I don't remember this same dread of losing because we had never won before. We had never won it all before.
That's my point. It's just the difference. Evan just said, I do that all the time. I go, because you've done nothing but win.
I think
Right.
this
and
is
it's not a
it's
criticism.
different situation.
He's
now,
younger
though.
and he's grown up with 6 titles.
Right. But would you agree with me? 01 and 96?
I would
we didn't
agree.
have this
with-
I would
dread.
agree 1,000% with you. I was as
13
disappointed
titles, I think it is.
in
actually.
'96.
All
I was as
credited to me.
disappointed
Of course.
coming home from that game, and we got stuck having
Especially
to stay there.
since you're winning at halftime.
Yeah, well, they weren't winning at halftime,
I thought
but
it was 14-10.
after the first quarter,
Oh, okay.
it went downhill after that.
Okay.
Why did they kick the ball to Desmond Howard?
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Ask Belichick. When they do,
I was thinking 96.
Like when I was driving home, '96. Yeah, they kicked it to Desmond Howard. He's right. Evan's right.
No. Weren't they ahead at halftime in 96?
No,
They
it
weren't.
was, the end of the first quarter was 14-10. They were
Okay.
down 27-14 at the end of
Okay.
the half. Then it was 27-21 with about a minute left in the third quarter, and
They
Desmond
kicked
Howard.
to Desmond
they
Howard.
kicked it to
All right,
Desmond
go.
Howard.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Anything else you want to know about that game?
Yeah.
No, I lived it.
Okay.
Anyway.
I did
So-
not really.
I was really disappointed coming home, just bummed out that they lost.
Yeah.
But it didn't like send me into like this deep, dark depression. I've never really been that kind of a sports fan. Like, I'm pretty imbalanced. I have my arguments and my quirks, but I don't think I'm that kind of sports fan that it's like really like just ruins my life that my team that I root for lost and I'm going to sink into a deep depression for a month.
07 was like that.
Well, I was going to say 07. I had a party, and final whistle, I just took the balloon, I popped it, and I went to my room in the middle of the party. That's the only time. I hung my head and went
07
straight.
was like a death.
It's
in your
as bad of a
sports
loss
family.
as you can ever
Yeah,
have
It was
in
terrible.
a sports.
It was
I mean, I
terrible.
don't know what
Like,
would be worse.
And again, I'm not going to tell you I'm above. Like in '96, go back to that season. There was a game that they lost. The Shannon Sharp called the National Guard would kill in the Patriots game.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah.
I was supposed to go out that night, and I was so bummed out that I was like an hour late meeting everybody. Like I was just so like just distraught with how badly they played. But I went out.
Yeah.
I did what I was. I just was not really in a good mood when I went out. But that was like the day of the game. Like 2 days later, it's like, who even remembers? You're on to the next game.
Yeah.
Some people, it ruins their whole life.
I just think this is a different situation. Like the context.
Different than what?
I guess it just is more like I think it needs like added context. Like I think the reason why a lot of people are dreading losing this game is because they've heard all year long that this team is fraudulent because of the schedule that they played.
So what?
So if they
That's what I
lose this
say.
game, it proves the point that they were fraudulent. Like
But you know that they're not. It doesn't prove anything.
Fred,
I agree.
If they
And
All these,
winning
I
it-
just got through. Got through telling you all these teams are even.
okay,
If
you're
they
making
lose-
sense.
Yeah.
Like if they lose on Sunday to the Chargers, then everybody that has been chirping the Patriots all year about their soft schedule is going to be even louder. And I don't think that. I think
So
it's
don't listen to it.
okay. Like
But-
No,
like that's not the world we
But
live
Evan,
in.
Partially being serious.
Patriots fans are saying that Denver's a fraud.
Right.
If we beat Denver, does that prove that they're a fraud?
Yes.
No, it doesn't. They're not a fraud.
It doesn't prove that they're a fraud, but you best believe we're going to be victory lapping.
Of course we are.
So then-
but if you're a Denver fan, you shouldn't think that your team was a fraud.
But also, if we play Denver, it's going to be in the AFC Championship game. Like being one and done is different.
I blame this.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what I was
understand-
gonna
That's
say.
why it wasn't like
Maybe
this in
the-
'96 and 2001.
Maybe it's
maybe.
different.
that.
Maybe
Maybe.
it's an it
wasn't
I don't
in your
mean to make it
face.
an age thing.
wasn't
but
in
like
your
it's a social media world thing.
It could
It's that,
be.
and I that's what I think it is like in a vacuum about this season. Is that all year long?
I know what you're
the
saying.
soft
I
schedule has been
understand.
thrown in our faces. That this team has played the easiest schedule of all time and the easiest schedule in the league. And if they go one and done and they lose to a Chargers team, which on paper they should probably beat, then all those people are going to have credence that they were right the whole time.
But
Do you want me to
it's
tell you-
chirping.
Do you want me to tell you what those
Yes.
haters are going to do if the Patriots
Welcome
win the
to the
Super Bowl?
world. That's what happens.
Do you want me to tell you what I'll tell you right because I this like kind of like the antagonistic
This is
the troll mentality.
this
if
is
they win the
sports.
Super Bowl, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say you wouldn't even have made the playoffs if you had a real schedule. Yeah, you took advantage of a weak schedule and all the
See-
big. I'm just telling you what they're going to.
Okay, but
if
like
you
people
want
do
to
that-
argue this crap, That's what they're going to do because they never relent and say they were wrong. No one ever does that.
People do that like to me all the time about the 24 Celtics. I do not care.
Right.
Like,
So why do
Jason Tatum
you
and
care
Jaylen
so much
Brown
about
are
this?
champions, and you can tell me that they had an easy path, and I do not care. So if the Patriots win the Super Bowl and people say, well, it's because you had an easy path, it's not going to bother me one iota. But it will bother me if people say they lose to the Chargers on Sunday and they say, see, we're frauds.
Well, wouldn't it have
Bunch of
bothered you if the
frauds.
Celtics hadn't gone all the way that year?
Yes.
It would have bothered you.
Yeah. That was.
But would you have thought that they're right?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. Would you have believed that those Celtics detractors were right?
It's different because the Celtics were so much further along. But
you wouldn't know in your brain, not your heart, your brain, that they're wrong. It was just chirping.
okay. But this is the world we live in. I don't know what to tell you. Like whether it's his shows or whether it's social media, like it doesn't matter.
I understand what you're saying.
These are the people that are going to be making.
I don't
the
take
most
it as
noise.
personally as you, but
Cam
I understand
Newton,
what you're saying.
I'm not taking it that personally. I'm just saying it's annoying.
Yeah.
That's it. Like Monday, if they lose on Sunday, I will not turn on his station for like a week. I won't do I won't.
This is where I agree with him. That's how I would handle it.
Oh, just don't listen.
I just I can easily not read what's going on Twitter.
Right.
It doesn't bother me. A lot of people Evan's age and younger than Evan, they can't do that.
Yeah.
They're just programs that they have to figure out, and they have to fight with somebody, and they have to defend the wall. And I don't spend any of my time worrying about any of that.
I'm going to be as disappointed as anyone. But
I will be too.
But God forbid you lose. The future's bright. I'm excited. We've got Drake May.
We will get to that
got Drake
point.
May.
It just won't be Monday.
So, Mike, do you remember how I told you the stages of grief, Mike? You want to go over them for Fred and Evan?
Anger, bargaining.
No. Like what's going to so let's say like it happens. No one wants to acknowledge it, but it happens. They lose Sunday night. On the post-game show, there's going to be a lot of anger. Right? We're going to get anger. By Tuesday, it's going to be anger with a sort of a sniff of
bargaining.
Yeah. Even though we're so far ahead of schedule. By Thursday, because we won't do a Wednesday show if we lose, it'll be Tuesday and Thursday. By Thursday, it'll be really all about, man, look at this. We got this MVP candidate. We're going to be here every year for 10 years.
And they'd be
and
right.
Then the second week, it's going to be Mike.
We got a great year behind us,
MVP,
and we're on to the
MVP talk.
MVP talk. Yeah. No,
I
I know.
going to win
Well,
the MVP.
But
that's how it'll go.
I 100% agree.
Just shut this crap off, and you can sort of.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
But it's not
Listen,
gonna
if the
change
Bills are
fact.
one and done, the Fred Kershers of the world will be calling up Buffalo Rays. See, I told you the window's closing.
And if
do you think Buffalo fans should feel that way?
No. There's going to be one team that's not going to
They have
get.
Josh Allen.
If I
But
was
if you're
a
the
Bills fan,
Mafia-
I'd be very worried if they lose on Sunday.
But if you're the Mafia, if I were a member of Bill's Mafia, I would just always be very worried because of the torture that I've gone through throughout my life.
The Bills, like, not to cross sports again, but like the Bills are in the position the 24 Celtics were in. They had their guy in the prime of his career with an easy path. Like if they lose on Sunday, and
the difference is they're not hosting everybody without all their best players.
Okay, but if
there's a big difference there. They're on the road, and
but if they're one and done,
it's not an easy path.
This is their time, Paul. Like this is
No,
they should be
I
winning
understand.
right now.
I understand what you're saying. Like Mahomes isn't
If
there,
they
and
lose
Bartle's
on
not there, and Jackson's not there, but they're not that good. They're lucky to be.
If they lose on Sunday to Jacksonville, then the coach is gonna get fired. Like there's
so
no
the
doubt.
only way that coach gets fired is if they hire John Harbaugh, which is in play. We haven't talked about that yet either. But
he's not. If
I were the Bills Mafia, I wouldn't want any part of listening to these national shows say exactly what Evan just said, because Evan's right. Sean McDermott's job is going to be on the line if they lose to Jacksonville. I think he's 1,000% right. That's all the national talk. The biggest story coming out of this wild card weekend, in my view, looking
the coaching
ahead.
changes.
No, but looking ahead, coming out of the wild card weekend.
Out of
right
it.
now, it's the coaching changes. Yeah. Absolutely right. Coming out of the weekend, I like to predict what the storylines will be.
Yeah.
If the Bills lose, that's the biggest storyline that's going to come out of this weekend.
Yeah.
Evans got it nailed, and it's because of they've been knocking on the door, and the only thing that's preventing them from getting there generally has been Mahomes, and to a lesser extent Burrow. and neither of those two guys are around.
And
they
Harbaugh's available.
and they still can't get out of it. And now Harbaugh's available. That's going to be the big storyline.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you guys see Schefter's report today?
No.
So there's currently 7 job openings now, with Baltimore making that announcement yesterday. Schefter said that, according to Harbaugh's agent, which, it's coming from the agent, take it for what you will, he has already had at least 7 teams contact him.
Yeah, I did hear
So
that. And some of them are teams that have.
That's at least one who already has a coach.
Right.
Sounds like it's Miami.
It's probably more than one.
Yeah.
I think Miami is
could
a
be
possibility.
Buffalo.
Could be Buffalo.
I don't think it's Buffalo yet, but it sounds like the Dolphins and their ownership has had an infatuation with John Harbaugh.
So to your point, though, and if you were the Pagulas, would you contact John Harbaugh and say, "Hey, listen, just don't make a rash decision."
Right.
You're gonna have your pick of the litter.
Right.
Obviously, you're gonna be in high demand. But wait at least till Sunday.
Yeah.
And then if the Bills win, maybe they call back and say, you know what, we're gonna stay the course. But I think Evan's right. I think there's a chance that McDermott gets fired.
I don't
if
know
they
how
lose
he
Sunday.
doesn't. Like, how many more times are we going to do this? Where you have the best player in the league and you can't win playoff games? Like, I just
7-6.
I understand why
not good
Harbaugh is out, but it's still it's the same thing as Vrabel to me. You have a good coach that maybe wins Coach of the Year, and you get to this certain point where you feel like you just can't move forward. It's just run its course. But
Well, Al Davis used to have the rule 10 years. After
he
10
was
years,
there for a long time.
they lose their ability to get the message out. They start to.
And there's also, and I read some stuff from Jeff Zerbiak, who's a longtime Ravens writer. I didn't read, just reading clips online that I saw. I didn't read thoroughly the stories, but indicating that the real problem is Lamar with
Monken.
Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, and Harbaugh wasn't going to get rid of him. So Baltimore decided, we're going to go in another direction. Now, we've also heard, we heard 5 or 6 weeks ago that there was what Fred's talking about, the Al Davis thing, where they really kind of tuned him out in the locker room.
It was 18 years.
It had run its course. I think John Harbaugh is a really good coach. I don't think he's done a really good job with some really good teams recently. The last couple of years, I think that they have underachieved. This year, they badly underachieved. It might be time.
But Lamar got hurt. And I think
that's
it's
totally
a different
fair.
situation, but I kind of look at
But I think they were 1-4 before he got hurt. Something like that.
But you look at the situation, too, like what happened in Washington. Like, they blow out both their coordinators because Jaden Daniels got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is Cliff Kingsbury out of a job if Jaden Daniels doesn't
I
get
wonder
hurt?
if Kingsbury is in play for Baltimore.
I would think that that's probably what's happening, is Kingsbury probably has another job that he thinks he's going to get.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
But like I think with the Ravens situation, it just kind of seems to me like Lamar might be the problem.
Right.
Like,
Well, and that's my question.
You had mentioned yesterday a lot of Kyler Murray.
Like Greg Roman is not good enough, and then they fire Greg Roman, and now Todd Monken's not good enough, and so then he wants Todd Monken fired, and like it just seems to me like it's been difficult to work with Lamar.
It's a wild. I don't remember so many high profile coaches being available, ex-coaches being available in any one cycle.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're Baltimore, do you hitch your wagon to Lamar and you bring in a coach that's going to serve Lamar? I mean, that's probably what Kingsbury would be to some element.
Who are the high profile coaches besides Harbaugh?
Mike McCarthy?
Bill Belichick?
Oh, he's not available.
Bill Belichick's been available for 3 years.
No, but he's available.
This is the third year he's
I know,
available.
but he's available.
But you just said I can't remember these kinds of guys being available.
Right. I can't.
Well, he was available last year and the year before.
No, but you add in Harbaugh, you add in...
I think it's really just Harbaugh.
And Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I mean, if
that's really disrespectful to Harbaugh.
What do you mean? I think Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl and has about the same win percentage as John Harbaugh.
Does he?
Dable. I don't know if Dable, but
I don't think of him anywhere near
Dable will
as
probably get another opportunity someday.
I think he'll be a coordinator first, but
Maybe, but he's out there. Like I don't know. Has Pete Carroll said he's actually retiring?
he should.
He should,
Well,
but
again, he was available last year.
and he got a job.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't think this is a great year for coaching availability. I don't think there's a lot of I don't think there's a Ben Johnson available.
It wasn't.
I don't
as
think
good
there's
as
a Mike
last year.
Vrabel available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Stefanski, McCarthy,
He's another one.
Harbaugh.
Another what? He's like 30 games below 500.
I think that Tomlin is not
Tomlin
out
could
of
be
the woods.
right.
Now, I'm with Paul.
if Tomlin is available, then that I would change my mind. That's a high profile.
I'm with Paul.
Tomlin
I
and
kind of think all
Harbaugh.
these coaches kind of low-key stink.
There are a lot of mid coaches
Yeah,
that are out of a
but I hear
job.
what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
that's what's so funny to me, though, is we spent the first 5 minutes talking about it might be disappointing if the Patriots lose, and now we're talking about two other teams that if they lose, their coaches might get fired.
Right.
Like, that's how extreme it is for
Now
those
that's
teams.
disappointment.
But I think this is back to Evan's point about like the 24 Celtics. Like you're in a different spot in some,
Yeah.
when you're there for 19 years and 18 years in the case of Tomlin and Harbaugh respectively, you're not judged in the same lens.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be.
It's also just different. Like, I think that for especially the current fan base, obviously Drake May is a much better player than Mac Jones, but we just did this in 2021 where they had a good regular season. Now they had a better regular season this year and the quarterback is better. But if they go out on Sunday and they lay an egg against the Chargers, like what? We're right back there, right?
We're not ready.
So
We're not ready.
My feeling
Okay.
will be different, vastly different. I was very
Mine will be-
consistent just
mine will
because
be
I
too,
I
but-
didn't think that they were going to the playoffs in 22. I thought 21 was a fluke. I don't think this is a fluke. Now that's just me mentally. Doesn't mean I'm right. It might end up being a fluke. Who knows?
I don't think it's a fluke. But
I don't.
But I think that there's all those elements, right? Of like the proof of concept of winning a playoff game, of like, really accomplishing something this year, of, not just winning the division, but also winning a playoff game really puts your stamp on it. Like this is
It's not a fluke.
legitimate.
No fluke. It's not a fluke for Denver. It's not a fluke for
a
Jacksonville
fluke
with the
for
first-year
Denver.
coach. It's not.
14 wins might be a fluke.
None of
but
these
they were a
teams-
playoff team last year.
None of these teams are that in it, with the exception of Pittsburgh, perhaps, are here because of a fluke.
Carolina? But no, I get your point.
I mean,
You're
talk about
right.
the
Yeah,
AFC.
yeah.
I was going
In
to
the
say
AFC.
Pittsburgh literally had a field goal miss, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one is
yeah,
like
yeah.
fluky.
Yeah, but I agree with Fred. I think the 6 teams are pretty even. And I can make an argument. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes, when it goes forward, because I do think strongly that Baltimore, Kansas City, maybe if they can figure out how to handle an offseason for a change, Cincinnati, these teams are going to be heard from.
Yeah.
And it's, I think there are good teams that have. I might even slide Indianapolis into this conversation.
Absolutely. If they get a quarterback.
There are some good teams that are in the playoffs right now that might not be back.
Yeah. I mean, Jason
That's
from Ohio says.
Historically, that's the case.
Next year, yeah.
Jason from Ohio says, Fred, why are you trying to rationalize fandom, which is inherently irrational? Fans think and do wild stuff for their teams. I agree, but I would hope our fandom appreciates what we've got and what the future could be with what we've got.
We will get there.
Yes.
It just won't be Monday.
That's what I said.
Like,
It'll be
Like
Thursday.
this isn't the end of the road. It's like, if we don't win now, we never will.
No.
No.
Like,
No one's saying that.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
It's going to take a while.
But it's going to take a
it's-
minute, and then we'll get to NFL honors, and hopefully Drake May is the MVP, and then that make you feel a little bit better. And
So that makes Mike upset, and I kind of agree with him. Mike is dreading if the worst case scenario happens and they lose this game.
3 weeks of
we're gonna have
MVP
3 weeks
talk.
of he's got to win the
Stafford
MVP.
lost this weekend in the division round, so obviously that probably puts Drake back in front. No, that's not how it
I
works.
see, they voted for MVP on Monday.
I know,
so,
that's what I mean, but
to
we're
me,
gonna
this
keep
is
talking.
over.
It's gonna keep getting calls about it.
We made our pitch. It's over.
yeah.
Good job campaigning, everybody. It's done.
I know-
they can't vote anymore.
I know
so.
we've talked about this stuff in the past, and I remember you talking about no one was throwing in '96 the fact that Denver lost in the face of people, and even doing my '85 stuff of like the excitement of like they thought they were going to beat the Bears, and I just think it's two things to me. It's the rise of social media now, where you have direct contact with another team's fans. You didn't used to have that. Like, how would you get into it? You didn't care. The only thing that mattered was when the Boston Globe or the Boston Herald wrote a story. And then, that might ruffle some feathers.
Right.
But it's that, and then it's pardon the interruption. This is how sports are covered now. Every angle, win, lose, what's the good, what's the bad. Like, that didn't really
And
exist back
I'm
then
not
as
positive.
much either.
Like the '96 one, and I might be getting my years off by a year. I want to say, so you're right. I knew that Denver was better than the Patriots in '96. But I was just excited that they lost, and I remember strongly rooting for Jacksonville watching that game. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, they have a chance. One win, and they're in the, So you got a chance to play Jacksonville for the AFC Championship game. 97, I think that they lost to Denver in Denver, 97 and 98. And they were reasonably competitive games. So you could kind of see they're not that far away. But you looked at it and you're like, that really was a great opportunity that they had in 96 to go to the Super Bowl. And fortunately for them, they did. Now, I think Green Bay was a little better and they beat them, but I that was unlike the Chicago game. The Green Bay game was winnable. The Chicago game was not winnable.
One other funny thing that stood out to me is I found some footage of Eddie Andelman down at the Super Bowl in '85, and he was like doing a little show, and he was telling Patriot fans to call in and give these Miami people crap. So he's like, and I feel like now the dichotomy's kind of changed because I feel like the biggest rival of Paul's shows are the Patriots super fans who don't care. They just, we're the best, we're back, everyone hates us, defend that's their nemesis. But back then it was almost like we're trying to harness that strength because we're going to win the Super Bowl and everybody's on board.
Listen,
it's
to
so
those
different now.
super fans you're talking about, if we lose, we're still back. We're still back.
It'd be nice to
This
win.
wasn't a fluke.
It's just different, and I honestly think that it's better now. It's better because Evan can go back and forth with Bronco fans. You're not in your own little bubble.
They come at me, but
Oh, hell.
But wouldn't you rather have it this way than
because you work for a team and you can't get into it? But if you didn't work for us, if you were still with Clintus or whatever, you'd be right back at him.
Paul dusted off the old thumbs last weekend.
But that was just on the media. I don't go at it with the fans.
Me deciding that I am now going to tweet and then push away from the phone is one of the better decisions I've ever made for my health and well-being.
I don't tweet a lot for that reason.
But I do tweet a lot, but I don't reply anymore nearly as much as I used to.
My feeling is if you don't want people to interact with you, don't tweet then. Like, you're just making proclamations then. You're not using, it's not social media.
It is because I said
it has been decreed.
So like if you're not, and listen, I don't blame you if you don't want to get into it, then stay off of it. Stay off of it.
Well, it just doesn't mean no good to reply. So for multiple reasons, but I mean, you should read some of the replies to my tweets like during games.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Fred's got the blog.
Right.
Similar.
I get criticized
Finger on the
every
pulse.
game. As soon as things are bad, they're on me for being a homer.
Well, it's not even criticism towards me. It's more criticism towards what's happening in the game, and it'll be like the first quarter, and the defense gives up a scoring drive, and it's
frauds.
It's like
we can't stop anybody.
Like, you can't reply. You can't. Once you start replying, you're poking the hornet's nest, and it just
all right.
starts.
So for this game,
let's get into
this
the game.
Yep. What are you most confident in from the Patriots side? I was sort of thinking about confidence and concerns. What are you most confident in? I should have probably maybe brought this up pre-show, maybe a little show prep.
Well, I think it's a tough question, Paul. That's why I'm taking a second to think about it, because I'd love to say that I am 100% sure that the Patriots are going to move the ball, but I think the Chargers are going to be really challenging. I think it's going to be
That's what I'm
tough.
most confident in. The Patriots will move the ball.
I think. I mean, but how and does the run game continue to carry over and produce like they have in the last couple
There's
weeks?
four guys that I'm most confident in. It's Drake May.
I agree.
It's the two running backs, and it's
Disagree.
Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Those four guys, I'm pretty sure are going to produce. I'm pretty sure those four people will produce.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the two running backs, but
Okay.
I have a lot of faith in May in the passing game, regardless of who he's throwing it to. He's done it all year with different guys. So
Right.
I don't know who the guy's going to be. Maybe it's Diggs. That's probably the most likely, but I have faith in May.
But if you have faith in May, he has to throw it to somebody. So who do you have faith in that's going to be on the receiving end?
And who the guy who can go like this?
Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs, I have a lot of faith in.
See, I think they're going to try to take those two guys away. So
I'm sure they will.
So I think that's going to be the game within the game is going to be, Keyshawn Boutte, Kyle Williams, the running backs in the passing game against some of these secondary players.
You're forgetting someone.
No, I'm not. Some of these
Demario Douglas.
Some of these Demario Douglas. Some of these secondary players for the Chargers. Cam Hart, Benjamin St. Juste. Their safeties, those are. It's not. I don't know if Jesse Minter is going to let Stephon Diggs beat him. So it's probably going to have to be. They're going to clamp down on the middle of the field with Diggs and Henry and the matchups that are going to decide the game might be on the outside.
Now, forgive me, I didn't read the 4,000-word opus yet.
You can.
You can't.
It'll be available to everybody tomorrow.
What specifically with Jesse Minter?
He's good. Good coach.
Do you think there are going to be things that maybe catch Josh McDaniels and Drake May off guard, or do they just do what they do extremely well?
I think it's the second one. So they play a lot of zone. They play like 81% of their snaps in zone. They play a lot of quarters specifically, which we can get into. But I think the biggest thing that I see with them, this happened against Houston, first half against Houston, Stroud completes those 2 bombs for touchdowns to the 2 Iowa State kids. And then Minter just started blitzing the crap out of him in the second half. And it seems like the curveball or like the changeup for Jesse Minter is pressure. Like if he starts to see that the quarterback is just sitting back there and the zones are not holding up, then he's going to start bringing pressure. So if I was the Patriots, that would be what I would be working all week on. Like I have a lot of confidence in Drake May finding open receivers against zone coverage. He's been doing it all year, as Paul said. What happens when they start getting a little bit crazy and they start dialing pressure up and they have to figure out answers to zone pressures or cover 0 or whatever the case may be? Do you have those types of things? So if I was Josh McDaniels, like that would be what's keeping me up at night, is like what happens when the game sort of pivots, right? Like he's not going to sit in quarters the entire game because it's going to be too easy for McDaniels and May. So at some point he's going to flip a switch and say, we're going to start bringing the heat. And at that point, do you have the answers to the pressure that they bring?
Do you agree, Deuce? That, like from when you watch the third and mediums?
I only watched the third and mediums, Paul. I don't know anything. No, it sounds. I mean, yeah. No, I mean, obviously, I trust Evan's coverage, and yeah, I mean the zone stuff. I mean, I just went through, stacking up all the different how they rank up, and I mean everything he's saying stacks up with what the next gen stats, and yeah, I just like I like what Garrett Blount said. Blunt. What he said yesterday, just whatever you're expecting it to be, it's going to be something totally different. And I think that could be a case. And, to Evan's point, we've seen times this year where Patriots offense looks one way and then all of a sudden it looks another way for a while.
No, that happens a lot in the playoffs.
And does it stagnate at first and they figure it out, or do they come out guns blazing and then the adjustment kind of gets them? Hopefully they can stay ahead of that. And
it's a game of cat and mouse.
I just think the run game, like that's to me that if they can lean on that and they can be successful with that, I think that'll set them
worry about
up.
that then.
No, me too.
The run game worries me against this team particularly because they got big dudes up front, and Derwin James is a really good run player as well. And he's been playing a lot in the slot and in the box for them, kind of like basically like a linebacker. So like I don't know if you can run the ball against this front. It's a bunch of big dudes.
I lean on the performance of the last quarter of our run game and giving that. Your guy Minter, something to think about there. Mm-hmm. And okay, stack the box. All right. I think Josh McDaniel and May will recognize that. And I think we have an answer for that. We're balanced enough to be able to answer to that. And so that's why I have faith in May and confidence in May in the offense in general to be able to produce this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what I'm most confident
to me,
in.
that's the way you win this game. Like you got to get ahead.
Score
because they can't score. So I would put points on the board as quickly as you possibly can and make them play from behind and make that offensive line pass protect 40, 45 times in Sunday's game. And I think you're going to be in good shape. But, they stopped the run really well. They've been a little bit leaky on the big plays lately, but they're pretty good at stopping big plays through the air.
Yeah.
So it's just that's the way that they kind of play.
What's the thing that worries you the most?
Herbert.
Yeah, I would say what worries me the most is that the Patriots won't have enough pass rush to really exploit their offense.
They don't get the lead, and the Chargers can throw as they want to, and they have a diverse passing game that I think will give the Patriots secondary
and
all it can handle.
And then I worry that they'll get too aggressive on defense and they'll get burned.
They'll have to start blitzing and trying to figure out a way to produce some pressure.
Don't do that.
That would be my biggest concern is that Herbert gets hot, and they have, we talked about yesterday, 3 or 4 guys they're more than comfortable. That guy can be the volume guy today. That guy can be the big play guy today.
They have to.
It's hard to stop those
Millen
teams
Williams
if they get going.
And Christian Barmore have to dominate.
Yep.
They have to wreck the game.
So is the thing that's held the Chargers from being an explosive offense back the offensive line?
It's horrid.
Yeah, I mean, I saw something today. It's like historically horrid.
Yeah. And it's not just like they have some of the guys.
So their
back.
line's worse than our schedule?
Their line is worse.
Their line's
than our
worse
line
than yours was last year.
Yeah.
By rankings.
Yeah.
Okay, so 50-0. I'm only kidding.
And
Herbert was sacked 54 times.
you know,
this year.
everybody
Yeah,
is focused on Alt and Slater, and those guys. I mean, first of all, they're two really good tackles that they lost, which obviously chips away at your depth. But they were missing guards all year too. Like Mekhi Becton missed a chunk of the
Well, he
season in
also
the
has
middle.
not been good.
Hasn't been as
Yeah.
good when he was out there. The BC kid, Zion Johnson, sort of been a little inconsistent. They've been without a lot of their personnel on the line for large chunks of the year. I think that they've kind of settled it a little bit. Like the backups that are settled into the tackle spots. I wish I had their game to
Pimpkins
game.
and,
No, but I wish I had their game to game. I feel like those guys, is it Salyer and
Yeah.
Pimpkins?
Mm-hmm.
They've been in there, I think, the last few weeks, and it's kind of stabilized a little bit. You know, it's not going to be
Same guys, but
it's not going to be ideal for them no matter what. But I think Herbert is sort of, after being under siege for the middle of the season, I think he sort of understands a little bit. Okay, this is what it's going to be, and I'm working around it.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be too much for him, and he won't be able to do it in the playoffs. And then the Herbert haters will tell you he's not going to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He hasn't been
I don't know.
particularly good against pressure this year.
Yeah.
I just
And the Patriots haven't been good at getting pressure. So that's
Slightly
the problem.
above average, I would say. I
Yeah.
mean, I would say their pass rush is average.
Pressure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pressure rate, but back up, Evan.
I'm
I
with
mean,
you.
67.1 QB rating under pressure, 109.8 with no pressure for
Yeah.
Herbert.
Yeah.
no.
I think they
Well,
get. I think that,
they had leads a lot, so that helps.
and I think that's when the Patriots get
Right,
pressure, like
right.
in the fourth quarter Sunday when they were killing Zach Wilson.
Right.
Like
But they
every
need to.
every play.
They need to the Chargers want to shrink the game. They want to choke you out. They have a good
Yeah.
defense.
Number one drive time.
They're not going to give up a lot of points. That's how they feel, at least. They are second in the league in time of possession. So they want to choke out the game. And if I'm the Patriots, you want to do the opposite. You want to turn this thing into a track meet. You want to put points on the board, and you want to make Herbert drop back as many times as you possibly can. If it turns into the grind it out, rock fight type of game, then that gives the Chargers a puncher's chance.
Short possession game where
They have,
teams are getting the ball 6 or 7 times
Right.
instead of 8 or 9.
Right.
Yeah.
That's advantage
That's
Chargers.
their
That's
game.
what they want to do. They
That's
want to
what they
possess
do
the ball.
all year. Yeah, and they're very good on third down offensively. They're very good at moving chains and staying on the field and all that kind of stuff. So that's the type of game that they want to play. And I think the Patriots have the ability, because of how explosive their offense is, they have the ability to play the other way. And I think you need to kind of come in and try to boat race them.
That's just who's going to make the plays on defense, and that's also fourth in plays per drive. I mean, so they're just and we've seen the Patriots defense when they're at their worst over the last few weeks of just nobody can make a play. I mean, teams are just 6 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards, right down the field. That's what scares me, is allowing them to just put those drives
And
together.
it's going to happen.
You can't.
So get ready.
No,
for
there'll
it.
probably be
They're
a
gonna
couple.
get-
There
they're
should
gonna-
be a couple
they're gonna
drives
move
that
the
are
ball.
7 plays and pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop, and you got to make a red zone stop. And there's these little flaws that you can point out on this Patriots team that you wonder when you get into these playoff games, what's going to matter and what's not going to matter. Does the red zone defense matter? Do they get some red zone stops? Because now you do it in the playoffs. You can say they were 32nd all year long, but you get 2 stops and that's the difference in the game. Then
This isn't the old days where you get to buy your first game.
Well, and Mike's point is really valid too. Like all of these kinds of things, playoff games, you're expecting to have a tight game. And those are the little things that decide the games. Can you make the 4-point play? Can you get a stop in the red zone and the other team doesn't? You are able to convert in the red zone. And that's how the separation happens. You went for it on 4th down twice and you got one. They went for it on 4th down twice and you stopped them both times. That's the difference in the game. Steal a possession
one.
here.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be like, well, you got to win the turnover battle. Well, no poop.
Yeah.
Obviously you want to win the turnover battle, but those key plays in every game has, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them.
Yeah.
Do you win more than you lose? Do you get the 3rd and 1? Do you stop there 3rd and 1?
Yeah, and that's why I brought that
I
up
would not
in
want
the
to play that kind
I
of
don't,
game.
I don't want to play that kind of game either, but that's what these games generally come down to.
And that's why I
Can
watch
you
the
force him to
3rd and
kick a field
mediums,
goal?
because I feel like the 3rd and mediums are where a lot of games, those are the margins.
Plus,
to
Evan
me.
and I had no interest in watching the 3rd and medium, so you picked us up in that regard.
I
Thank
just
you.
watch all the 3rd downs. I don't stereotype against a specific kind of 3rd down. I think with this Chargers team, they're really well coached. They're really good situationally, like 3rd down, 3rd and shorts, things like that.
Yeah.
I would not want to play that kind of game with them. I would want to play a game where our offense is healthier and is better than yours, and we're just gonna hang points on the board that you can't keep up with.
Yeah,
because if
that.
you start to get into like, oh, it's, we got to convert this 4th down, or we got to get this red zone stop or whatever. Like, that's their game. Like, that is how they beat teams. So I just think that this is one of those games where I think the Patriots are the better team. So, like, I would.
By how big a margin?
I think I don't know if it's a huge margin, but I think they're a better team.
I don't mean points. I mean just like, our team is better than you by a lot or a little or,
Enough that I think that if the Patriots don't shoot themselves in the foot, they could win this game comfortably.
Okay. So if you play clean football, you win.
I think that if they play clean football and play to the level that we've seen them play all year, that this could be kind of an easy win.
But,
easy is the wrong word. Like,
but
kind of a
it's fair to say that, like,
digit, whatever you
in
wanna
even
call
games
it.
that they've won, they've had lapses, second quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you afford to have a lapse in this game, or do you have to play full 60 minutes?
I think you can afford it.
It's another playoff team. I think they're just guaranteed to. Justin Herbert's going to put a couple drives together, and you just have to be ready to accept that. I mean, this is a good team. This is the playoffs.
And the thing that we always have to do, and we forget to do, is look at it from the Chargers side. Like, what are they worried about? Like, can they afford to have a lapse?
I think what I would worry about if I was the Chargers, and what I'd be also feeling good about, if I start with the feeling good, I'd feel good about the fact that you're not facing a dominant pass rush.
Yep.
So, like, you can.
If it was Houston or and that's a tough.
Right.
That's
so
tough.
you could realistically say, yeah, like Milton Williams and Barmore are nice on the inside, but we don't feel like we're going to be overwhelmed on the line of scrimmage offensively. I think the concern that I would have if I was a Charger fan is that May and McDaniels have just continually shredded zone. And if you're going to sit in zone against the Patriots, I think you're going to have trouble stopping them. So if you're the Chargers, like, can you pivot to more man-to-man? Can you pivot to something else? They're not really built to do that. So, like, where does that rubber meet the road? Like, are they able to come up with something else that's a change-up that maybe the Patriots aren't as expecting as much to pivot to if Drake May goes touchdown, touchdown, touchdown because you're sitting in quarters and he's just humming it.
Do we have Vrabel today?
Yeah,
Yep,
110.
110.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson,
Yeah.
AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
So I think that's like multiple times we've got that award, right?
That's the
Oh, yeah.
sixth time
The
this
sixth
season.
time out of 17
And,
or 18 weeks.
Yeah, and 6 different players too.
It's one of the reasons why I have a lot of confidence that the Patriots will move the ball
Yeah.
on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went back before Catch 22. Barth was hanging out. We were trying to figure out how many times they've like had multiple guys win this award, and I think this is at least as far as we could see, a team record to have 6
Well,
different
think about
guys
that. That's
all win.
30% of the season the Patriots have had that award.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
they have,
3 times on special
that's amazing.
teams.
Yeah.
Chase on defense and May.
Yeah.
So yeah, and now Stevenson's the 6th. 03 they had a bunch of special teamers like Bethel Johnson, and I think the other one was 07, but it was like Brady had like 4 of them. So that season. Moss.
All right. Let's get some phone calls in here. I know people are waiting to get involved. So let's start with Danny in Daytona. What's up, Danny?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Just calling back. I tried to call it. So I just wanted to chime in. The first thing I wanted to say was it was a good game. Miami just moved past that. I am tired of the whole Drake May nickname, so let's move past that.
Okay.
Some people have
It's your
good
show,
names.
Danny. You tell us what to do.
I agree, Danny. You're spot on.
So let's move past that, like Evan said. To Evan's point, I called in. I spoke with Evan earlier on 22. There's 2 things actually. The first thing is I think the Pop Douglas should be a big factor in this game. I was watching this guy on CBS. He's talking about with Matt Ryan that they should use Pop Douglas and I guess Stephon too, to kind of like stretch the field horizontally, just because the Chargers have a really good safety and corner group. So if we're able to stretch the field, which Josh likes to do, those bubble screens and those slants and outs and whatnot and ins, if we can use Pop Douglas and maybe a couple other good receivers, a little smaller, shifty, maybe Paul's favorite, Efton Chisholm, throw him in there, kind of having some confusion, maybe blocking or whatever, and some designs off of that. I think that'll kind of throw off the Chargers, because they're, if we show some looks like we're trying to target downfield, but we're really just throwing in the middle, it might set them up. So I think that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to chime in is on the coaching carousel. Are you guys surprised to see that Detroit blew out their staff? Washington blew out their staff. Dallas, I'm not surprised. Eberflus, I don't see how he could find himself another job. He should have been fired a long time ago. And then the other thing,
Wow,
Arizona,
really is his show.
Arizona was talking about
this?
Or somebody mentioned on the broadcast about bringing Josh McDaniels there, but I don't see that happening. I did talk about with Evan earlier about Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown saying that they were going to interview him there with Arizona.
Yeah.
And then Brady. The last thing with the Raiders.
What are we doing?
You guys didn't know. The Raiders are paying fire coaches $55 million. That's even including Josh McDaniels. And
that's a lot of Pizza Hut commercials. Yeah.
It's almost like the owners have a lot of money.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate the call.
I don't think this will be a big Pop Douglas
Well,
game.
I was thinking of your zone thing. I mean, if this is a heavy zone team, is this, ideal for Pop?
And I don't this is not you can take all the bubble screens and send them someplace else this week. This is, you want to get down the field.
I'd like to see Booty, get back to the way it was earlier in the season and catch a couple of bombs.
I mean, how often in the playoffs do guys emerge and do things that they didn't do in the regular season?
That's a good question. My mind goes right to Malcolm Mitchell as a guy that maybe stepped up and maybe exceeded his
mind
production.
goes to the guy on the Seahawks in Super Bowl 49 that was freaking, what was his name?
Matthews, I think.
Chris Matthews, I think it was.
Right.
Oh, God,
It's
that guy had the game
6'6".
of his life.
Yeah, I don't think that happens all that often, but I could see Douglas. I mean, Douglas has been a part of the offense periodically throughout the year.
Yeah, he pops up.
Douglas,
But I
one
wouldn't
of
think,
his-
to
his
Fred's
day.
point, I don't think it's going to be an 8 for 120 for Douglas. It might be 3.
Right.
And you say, wow, Pop Douglas had a really good game today. I could see that, but he's done that periodically throughout the season.
If they play like Houston or Denver, then Pop Douglas will have his day. I think with teams that play more man to man. This team plays a lot of exotic zone. So it's going to be reading it out. It's going to be knowing where the soft spots are. It's,
Houston, he wouldn't. I agree with you on Houston. He wouldn't see Lassiter or Stingley.
Right.
And if they're playing man, he's going to get their third corner.
They usually play
third or fourth
They
corner.
usually play the safety. Petrie
All right. The always optimistic Christian from L.A. What's up?
Hey, you guys. You know what? I got to say, I want to ask if anybody out there feels the way I feel. And that's as a
Peter
Patriots
Frampton
fan that was there. Well, as a Patriots fan that was there, as the dynasty came together, right? In the heyday of the dynasty, that took it personally, that made it part of my personality. I was a winner because the Pats were winners, right? And then to see it all collapse, but now to see a spark, right? A real spark. And it's not like we have the second-year quarterback that's kind of coming along and the team's coalescing, but this kid is amazing, right? Really amazing, and that makes it different because it makes it feel like we actually have a kind of chance to be that good at some point again. And so with that, waving, falling up in my chest, I'm feeling like a 38-10 victory, and then on to this colossal matchup against Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. But if this
we're skipping the
Wow,
divisional
we're- yeah,
round, right?
wow.
That's the divisional.
Wow, you really are
The
optimistic.
second week by.
And even if the team's journey ends this week, we still win. We won the season. We won the proverbial war of can this organization rebuild, and then we win the future. And so that makes me feel like we are winners again, like the heyday. I'm feeling 38-10. Tell me why not?
One visit to the pickle bar and he's ready to go.
I would just, the caller before being
All
a
right,
little
thanks,
doom
Christian.
and gloom. But the caller before mentioned some of the coaching changes, coordinator levels, and stuff like that. Like Washington was just in the NFC Championship game last year, and now they
And what good did it to him?
fired both their coordinators. Or
Good dude.
parted ways. Fired.
if
Detroit was same spot, their offensive
that's a
coordinator.
different. But if we make a run and next year Drake May gets hurt, we're going to be in trouble too. You know? Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just
I
saying.
mean, Matt Eberflus was like 1 year in Dallas. Like it's like he should have been gone a long time ago. Like it's just like it was his show, you know. And we were just like living it. Like, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The NFL is a year-to-year thing. Like,
Happens all the time.
2026 could be a very different season.
It could be, and it probably will be, better or worse. Brad's in Ohio. What's up, Brad?
How you guys doing today?
Doing all right.
Hey, Brad.
All right. I agree with all of you about Jesse Mentor. I did watch him at Michigan when he was the defensive coordinator, and he is Evan's right. You know, there's going to be times he's going to make pressure, and there's times that there's openings.
Got to talk into the phone.
I think he has a bad
On
connection.
the outside, but they're going to have to attack the outside.
Okay. We're losing you,
Sorry,
Brad. Sorry about that.
But I do. I think I understand, and Evan was nodding too. You know, Minter is a guy who has a clue. You know, he did some NFL type stuff at Michigan with Harbaugh. Those guys have been together. There's a reason why Jesse Minter is one of the guys that's being talked about to fill one of these 7 openings. He's had a really, really good couple of years with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore gives him a real good look.
Oh, that's good. He was there before.
He was there. Yeah.
Brad, I knew Brad's a Michigan guy, so I should have seen that one. He must have gone to Michigan.
We have some feedback on the fan mentality. Bunch of emails. Spencer writes in, Patriots fans are preparing to lose because we went 4-13 back-to-back seasons. These same fans, of course, want us to win the Super Bowl. Well, I mean, maybe they're preparing to lose, but what I'm saying is because you went 4-13 last year, you should be appreciative of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And if they don't go all the way, okay.
You always should look at a game and just say there's you should never look at it and say there's no way we can win this game or there's no way we can lose this game. I mean, you're in the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, this is not like Tom Brady's heyday when you're having double buys against Tim Tebow.
No.
Hey.
Like, you know, like Christian made the comment 38-10, and like I'm not ruling that out. I think the Patriots could get on a roll and continue. I think they're playing really well. But he said, tell me why not? Well, why not? You've played one team this year that's as good as the Chargers. You beat them 23-20, and you lost to them 35-31. You haven't played any other team that's anywhere near as good as this one. And I don't think the
Tampa
Chargers.
Bay at the time?
No, but
No.
Baltimore is close.
No?
No, you could say that, but they're not even here. Like, they didn't even win more games than they lost. Now, you could make an argument because of personnel and the injuries.
They're not
but
here because of a 42-yard field goal.
No, okay, but they would be here and they would be out in a game, like because they would be 9-8 instead of 8-9. I don't think they're as good as the Chargers. Now, heading into the season, would I say the Ravens roster was better than the Chargers by a lot? Yes.
I just
My
think
answer would have been yes, but they didn't have that team all year.
But the Ravens are healthier now than the Chargers. It doesn't matter.
I mean, not Sunday night they weren't. The whole secondary was out, and that's when Aaron Rodgers turned into Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Kyle Hamilton got hurt during the game.
that's a big.
And so did Nate Wiggins, and so did the Awuzie guy who ended up falling down. He came back in the game and fell down on the game-winning touchdown. Like,
Woozy.
he was a little woozy.
Got double moved.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
Very,
Fred,
very
should
bad
we
technique.
talk about Friday night at all? Should we
Sure.
hype up
yeah,
the
why don't you hype that?
Good job, Deuce.
All Access
don't
Live
have to.
Patriots Playoff Kickoff Party? Sorry, did I get that right? All Access Live Patriots Playoff Kickoff Party here. It'll
Featuring?
be at Gillette Stadium, ending with a live taping of All Access. I won't be on it this week.
Wow, you got big time. They subbed you out.
But
This guy.
Playoffs.
Who
gonna
will-
start
Who will be on it?
no, come on down 6 p.m. Friday. So it starts here, down right outside the stadium. They'll be
not
in the
give me my
plaza.
flowers,
They'll have
Evan.
photo ops, a DJ, a drum line, giveaways,
A drum.
including tickets to Sunday's game. So hope everybody come down. Vince Wilfork and other Patriots alumni will be appearing. So that's 6 to 8 p.m. here at Gillette Stadium, and they're going to cap it off with a
can't
live
even-
taping of All Access.
I can't
Paul
even be
Brillo.
part of our own promotions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
amazing.
Kind of
So-
crazy. I agree,
so-
Paul.
It's amazing.
So come down. It starts at 6. So this party starts at 6 outside, and then the all access show starts at 7. You can either be in the plaza where the main stage is, or up at the Harp, the bar here at Patriot Place that overlooks the plaza. They'll be showing everything in there on the monitors as well. So either one, and then stay at the Harp and watch college football that night. So
Yeah,
it's
it's one of the semifinal games.
yeah,
of
so
the
it's a big night. Come on down, 6 o'clock. It's all free.
I told Paul I'm going to come. I think we're going to bring my family. We're going to have dinner here at Patriot Place, and then we're going to walk by, and then we're
Nice.
going to heckle
He's
Paul.
going to heckle me.
Nice.
Boo!
Yeah.
That's such
Not
a,
as good
that's
as
such a
last-
do-so thing to do.
Well, we usually go out to
We're
dinner
just gonna
Friday
have-
night, and why
we're
we
gonna have
we,
the
we come
family-
to Patriot
You're gonna
Place.
go to the sushi place. Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
No, they'll
Maybe
probably
we'll
go
get
to Blondie's.
hibachi. No, we're gonna-
Oh,
That was on the list. Actually, we were discussing
You're
it
gonna
last
go to
night.
you're going to
Nothing
the
against.
sushi
We
place.
love, we love some Saga hibachi up here,
Yeah.
but that barbecue place been a minute since we went there. So
Oh yeah. BB and NH writes in first, Fred's all right to start every show makes my day. It never changes and it's always great. Speaking of never changing, regarding the debate amongst Fred, Paul, and Evan about how it will feel. Why isn't Deuce part of it?
It's not a
about how it
debate.
will feel if the Patriots lose.
I don't think we
Paul and
debated.
Fred simply speak with the rationality of older folks
Yeah.
who don't care what anyone thinks or says about them. They know what passes their eye test, and that's that. Evan is entangled in the web of the populace and doesn't want to see the opinions of silly people who negate his ball knowing. Anyway, go Patriots. Let's see DMX have another 300-yard game and get another touchdown to Chisholm.
Who's DMX?
I guess it's Drake May.
Okay.
Drake May X.
I agree with him though. It's my least favorite part of sports fandom at the moment is the Twitter machine and just the noise that comes from it. For some people, it's easier to tune out than others. Like I've started to get there at my old age of 33. I'm starting to get to the point where I don't give a crap about what's going on in my phone. But that's not the norm. I would say the norm sports fan right now is, chirping other fan bases and whatever. Like it's just the nonstop cesspool.
I like that email, though.
yeah.
Yeah. Tony in Potton, UK. On the C, we told you you're a fraud. And those saying they don't want an easier schedule of that was given to them. I don't know what that means. But as you've all said, we've had this schedule because we have been more than useless the previous 2 seasons. The NFL creates the schedules in this way to create interest and even the playing field. In that way, it's been a success, and the Patriots were able to recruit well and take advantage of that schedule. However, without the great work from the recruitment and coaching staff, we would never have been in a position to take advantage of the schedule. I'm with Fred and Paul, but I'm also of similar age. Just turn that social crap off if we lose and forget about it.
Well, and I would say if it really bothers you.
Yeah.
Like,
It's affecting your mental health.
yeah, no, I'm saying
I'm
like
just
if
trying to explain the mentality of the people that Fred brought up is that this is the way that this is the climate now.
Yeah.
Is that we have to listen to Cam Newton on TV and then you have to listen to the people on your phone and all these people are just yelling at you, telling you how easy the schedule is.
I
and
guess I pick
this,
and
that,
choose.
the
Like
other
I would
thing.
never look at Cam Newton and take that seriously for a
Well,
second.
he's got funny hats.
No one's taking it seriously, but
but
it's
I
just
would,
everywhere.
I mean, I would look at, the haters that are going to throw the schedule, and I'd be like, I don't think that they played a very good schedule either, so I can sort of agree with that. Now, again, those guys are going to just claim you wouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place, even if they win. So you can't beat those guys.
I don't know.
Because those are just
hollow.
loudmouths.
It's just that gets
Because a lot of teams that have
it's-
really, really bad schedules have won.
Oh yeah.
It won't be nearly as loud in those.
No,
people
it won't. No, it won't be as loud.
I've seen a couple historical things of like a lot of Super Bowl champions. Like, I think the Rams.
They
in,
benefit
like,
from very
90,
bad.
like,
They
were just,
benefit from very bad
It's kind
schedules.
of part of the
Yeah.
formula, and I mean, a light's getting shown on it this week. But I think it's a bigger question of: do you think it serves the team better to, maybe they don't play the iron during the regular season and they feast and they get confident and they beat up on some teams, but a team that maybe has had ups and downs and battles and had to fight through some injuries and they sneak into the playoffs, but they've been tested a little bit, or maybe. And I'm not saying, this will be another example of how true or not that is.
Yeah, I think there's two sides of that, and I would say it's inarguable that the first part worked for the Patriots, right? They had a little soft spot, and they got some confidence underneath them, and then they went to Buffalo and won.
Yeah.
And it was like, they took off.
There goes Evan.
Evan's had enough.
There goes the greatest
Mike,
there ever was.
You need to brush up on your third and medium so Evan stays for the whole show.
That's too bad because Paulie in L.A. says, Evan, F them all. No one can take away the fun of this season. Losing is as important as winning and how you handle it. Focus on the positive and shut out the noise.
That's kind of how I am. Like, I don't, it doesn't really, it bothers me that my team lost. It doesn't bother me because what other people say about it.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't, really affect me.
I understand what Evan is, but I'm with you guys in that I've kind of slowly extracted myself from needing to, you want to hear what I think about the Patriots? I talk about it 6 hours a week here, and I talk about it, 4 hours on the weekend. Like, there's just
some weeks you have more TV shows to talk about it too. But you're a little disappointed this week, so you have a little less.
Yeah, well,
can't give.
After meeting with Jerry, I know why
props.
Jason clarifies that DMX means Drake May 10.
Oh,
okay.
We got a new one.
DMX.
So
it's like TB12.
Is that the y'all gonna make me lose my mind one? Yeah.
Speaking of DMX, I saw something that made me chuckle a little bit today. Jamie Erdahl, who hosts the NFL.
Yeah.
What was it called? Get Up.
Wake up. Good
Get
morning
the hell
football.
up.
Good morning football.
Yeah.
Good morning football. Get the hell up. They were all asked to list their teams, the most consistent team, and she picked the Patriots, right? And they write them out on the whiteboard and they show them. She wrote the New England Patriots. Like the whole.
Yeah, Drake
Good,
May. May. Yeah.
Good job.
I love it. Kevin.
Yeah, I think it was New England Patriots.
I've heard this one
I said that
too,
wrong.
and I don't understand. Scared the Chargers may have the Patriots number based on how bad they beat the Patriots last time they played.
Yeah, that's.
I've heard this on your show.
No, that's my thing.
I've heard this on your show.
Oh, were his Paul shows talking
I
about
have
last
not
year?
heard that on my shows. I don't think it has any relevance because these are not the same players. If they were the same team, I would say, okay, yeah, sure.
I generally agree. I will just say, though, I don't dismiss the fact of Justin Herbert came into this stadium and played well and should have familiarity with how it is and confidence. And I agree. It generally doesn't matter, but I do think that doesn't mean nothing to me. It means a little bit.
It means nothing to
All
me.
right, we're going to take a break now, and probably during the break we'll, run into Vrabel. So we'll either be back before or after Vrabel, but we'll be back. You'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Congrats on here next weekend in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it was big. We talked all week. I mean, we still had, business. It's a division opponent. So, coming in here, getting 14 wins on the season, that was, our big thing was just finishing what we started. So we was able to do that. You know, we're going to announce a new season, so we're excited for it.
Flex Parkman, right?
Christian, you've been here back-to-back 4-win seasons now. You know, game wraps up, 14 wins. You're on the precipice of playing in your first playoff game. I know this one just ended. You got a week to go, but what's the mindset heading into your first shot at the postseason?
I'm excited, very excited, to be able to play in January. I mean, it's a as a kid, it's a dream come true, really. I mean, just being able to play in the playoffs, and we came in and Braves came in and said, you know, win the division and host home playoff games. So we are able to do that. So, like I said.
My understanding is the Cardinals asked permission to talk to Thomas Brown. I was wondering what he's provided, what he's done for you this year.
Yeah, we'll focus. You know, I mean, I want the best for every single coach that's here. I do. And we'll focus on that. Whenever they can talk to our coaches, we'll approach that. I'm excited for every one of them that could get an opportunity. I'll help them however I can. But our focus is obviously on the Chargers this week and a huge task against a really good football team.
Other than the obvious physical tools, what does Derwin James bring to the table that makes him so good?
You know, I think he's got really good instincts. You know, when he blitzes, whether to go inside or go outside, I think he, you know, there's a passion. There's a love for football. There's a play demeanor. He's a very good tackler. You know, he can cover. He matches up. He has versatility to play down or, you know, close to the line of scrimmage. He can play, you know, in the deeper part of the field. And again, I just having the luxury to coach a Pro Bowl. He was on that team, and just an unbelievable person. I remember his mom was getting married, and he's like, "Coach," and he communicated, he like reached out, like, "Hey, I'm gonna miss it." And I was like, "Buddy, don't think there's any rules to the Pro Bowl." And so just remembering that about him, I always have a lot of respect for him. Obviously, the player he is, but the person.
Like, it seems like Drake has a lot of answers to defensive tests this year. What is it about you and Josh, the whole staff, being sort of proactive about making sure he's ready when he sees something maybe that...
There's a lot of growth there. You know, I think a lot of growth as we've worked from the offseason through training camp and joint practices versus the Commanders and the Vikings and against our defense, and then working through the regular season. You know, just trying to give him the best chance and to put us in the right situation. And I think he's learned from some of those instances where maybe he could have gone to something else. And I think he's learned from that. So that's been really good to see. And that's, you know, credit to Josh, obviously, and Ashton.
What's the Chargers playing style? You've talked a lot about your own. What have you kind of learned about them and what they do well?
Big physical football team. They don't really beat themselves. They statistically excellent in every category across the front. Defensively, they don't just stop the run well, or they don't give up, you know, but they're good on third down. They're good on short yardage. Excellent in the red zone. And I think it's, you know, you look at a play that broke against the Texans. It was a screen to the left, and you know, every single guy on defense is chasing the ball, and Khalil Mack wins the race and hammers the football out and causes a fumble. So those are the things that I can appreciate, you know, with a defense or for a team. And you know, this is certainly a team that's going to, you know, play that way.
How much has Morgan Moses meant to your team in this locker room?
Great veteran presence. You know, I think that he's played well. It hasn't just been a presence. I mean, he's protected the quarterback, and he's been out there. And you know, we got some guys sick today. Morgan will be in one of that group of guys that are sick. So he won't be getting the physical reps. But just I think everything that we've wanted him to be and needed him to be, as far as changing over some personnel and adding him. So it's been fun to watch that group gel.
Mike, who else is sick?
Bradbury, Anthony Jennings, Verdarian Lowe.
Mike, how much do you rely on team identity as you get into the playoffs, but what you've been able to build since really day one here?
Well, we've said this numerous times. You can't just play hard and hope to win. Run like this with the football and hope that you're going to be able to break tackles or gain a bunch of yards. So you need production, you need execution. So I think that it helps. It's critical. And being able to keep our composure, whatever happens in the football game, making sure that we execute in critical situations. So again, I think that the identity is important, but execution and guys making plays and us, all sticking together, is going to mean the most.
Mike, the Chargers are second in the league in time of possession. What do they do well that allows them to hold on to the ball? And in a playoff situation, how dangerous is a team that holds on to the ball for a long time?
Well, they certainly, either a 1 or 2 based on whatever you look at. They do a nice job. They don't mind it being in 3rd and 3 and, running it to stay on track. And because they're really good on 3rd down, a quarterback that can scramble for a 1st down, they can run it, they can multiple different route concepts in those down and distances. And so, it just probably the more that they possess it, obviously, the less that we get it. But I also think it's a mentality where they're trying to wear you down and win the game in the 4th quarter and put the 5-minute put their 5-minute offense out there and run it to win it.
Mike, last time when we had a playoff game here, you were the visiting team's head coach. And you described this place as a Viper stand. I know it's been a couple of years, but what did that term mean to you back then? And what does it take to rebuild that kind of reputation with your current team?
Well, it just got to be a tough place to play in January. If we're able to get there in January like we are, we have to create an environment that makes it difficult to play. Whatever the record was back, when I was looking at the stats in 2019, 21-3 or whatever it was in January, I'm going to be off by a couple games because it's a few years ago. But that, we were talking about, what we would have to do to come in and win. And we need to create a hard environment. We need to play well and let our crowd feed off of us and let us feed off of them.
Mike, when you have players like Milton and Harold Landry, if he comes back this week dealing with injury, do you have a sense of where you might be from a pass rush standpoint midweek, or do you have to find out first quarter kind of once the game gets going?
On a pass rush?
Yeah, how much rush you might have with just your typical 4?
Nah, man, I don't think that's ever something that you can tell in practice. You gotta go out there and win in live action, and not only win, you have to be able to, get the guy on the ground. Justin's just great play strength, toughness, can avoid and scramble for a lot of yards and can stiff arm you. And, so again, I think that all have to be determined Sunday night.
Andre Stevenson, he was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week, which was actually the first time he's gotten this award in his career. What was it like to see him get that recognition for his performance?
Always excited for our players, and sound like a broken record, but I think he continued to do the things that we needed him to do to help us win, and in turn was rewarded for it with touchdowns, with rushing yards, with big catch there, but also he protected the quarterback. So I'm excited and happy for him. Recognized him, and then we moved on.
Mike, it's the first game this season where it's win or go home. Do you sense a heightened sense of urgency around here this week?
We need to embrace the preparation, and I want them to continue to enjoy, the execution and everything that goes on with this. I'm excited. I'm excited for these guys to prepare. I'm excited to coach them. So, I hope that we're locked in every week, and I imagine we'll get everything we can out of them.
For you personally, I know you just kind of alluded to it, to be in this position, bringing playoff football back to Foxborough here.
We don't want it. Yeah, I'm happy, I'm excited, but also we're not here just to, get here. We have to, be able to host games and compete for championships. So there's not going to be any consolation prize for anybody. We understand what we have to do.
In previous matchups with Greg Roman, what have you noticed about how
he operates? Does he kind of have a style that he adheres to, or is he?
Well, I mean, you know, they're going to be physical, and they're going to marry the play action pass and off the run actions. They're going to look at things that have given you trouble in the past. They've got their core concepts, mixed personnel, use big people. Lamar Jackson, so it's probably a little different with as much quarterback run. You know, they have it. You know, we'll have to be ready for it. I just don't know if it'll be as much as what he did with Lamar Jackson. But, you know, there's a lot of carryover. There's also a lot of growth, and what he's done with mixing personnel, you know, keeping you guessing, keeping you, you know, moving guys around, motioning to get guys at the point of attack.
We've asked you a lot this year about Drake as a leader. How have you seen him demand more from his teammates? And would this be the kind of week where you'd expect him to lead in that fashion?
I would hope that he would lead as our quarterback every single week. This is next week. It's an important week. I think just the command that he has in the huddle. You know, at practice you see, you know, communication with guys off on the side when, you know, maybe the defense is working. You know, I see things during the game where, you know, he's trying to get guys on the same page and, you know, communicate to them and that relationship there. So I think he's continuing to work at it. And again, it's everybody's trying to become a little better leader.
Obviously, you guys had a lot of success this year. There's a lot of head coaching movement around the league. Do you look back and think of your year off from being a head coach as being beneficial?
Well, it was the only option I had, so I guess I didn't have a choice.
Mike, you talked offensively about X plays coming from 70%, guys making a play 30% scheme. Defensively, does that hold true? Because I know obviously LA's been really, really good at denying those X plays, and it seems a lot of it is structural, but where's that balance?
Well, I mean, I imagine that this was league-wide when I just did like a quick, you know, when you look through each week, you know, I mean, some of those numbers may be off but, you know, I think sometimes schematically, I think the way you tackle goes into that a lot. You know what I mean? The way you play the football down the field, you know, split safety versus post safety. I think there's some things that go into it. I just was saying that it's not always going to just be, you know, the best player making a play. Sometimes you're going to get schemed open. Sometimes we're going to have to go make a play, and it's a one-on-one matchup, and that's kind of how those things are created. Running backs, you know, be like, that's a really cool run. It was untouched and everybody was blocked. Sometimes you got to make a guy miss and break a tackle.
You mentioned Herbert.
Don't take me too literal here. I apologize. I was just trying to say that it's a combination.
You mentioned Justin Herbert a couple of times. Just with his physical skills, how much of a challenge is he for a defense?
A lot. He's got toughness, great arm talent, great athletic ability. You know, he's under duress. You know what I mean, and it doesn't really affect him. You don't see him get frustrated. A lot of respect for him as a person, and obviously as a player. And you know, he's lived up to everything that they thought he'd be as a franchise quarterback, and he's really just one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Seems like the packages where you have, seems like those 6 offensive line packages have been a very big reason for the run game success recently. I'm curious, what led to the decision to maybe lean on those looks more, and also why has it been so successful for you guys?
I think any time that we blocked the, you know, guys at the line of scrimmage and we blocked the support player, that we're able to run the football. So if that's 6 linemen, if we need 7, I'll probably draw the line there. But you know, however many guys we need to put out there that can move somebody off the line of scrimmage and block support, that's what I'm in favor of. Thanks, guys.
And now, great moments in history.
Andrew used to go to the same gym as Andy Hart, right on Route 1 over here. And
Oh, do tell.
So we'd see him every morning before work. So he said one day at the gym there was this guy, and there was a one of those big boxing bags, and the guy was like hitting it really hard and grunting and whatever, and like making a big scene. And Andrew was like, 6:30 in the morning, like, what is this guy doing? So he was about to go to Andy and be like, check out this guy. And then all of a sudden, Andy, as soon as the guy was done, Andy went over. And he started doing the same thing to the bag. And Andrew was like, I was literally like seconds away from being like, hey, check out this guy.
So that's part of Andy's routine that he never really told us about, the heavy bag. We didn't know that was something he uses, the heavy bag.
And Andrew was about to make fun of the other guy.
So he must have to stand really close with those short arms.
Yeah. That's another great moment from
All right, back here on Patriots Unfiltered. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at patriots.com is the email address. As Paul and I, Evan left for Vrabel, and then Deuce got a text that there's a lot of people in the locker room, so he had to run to be part of that.
Right.
Like he took off. I gotta go. I hear it's crazy in the locker room.
Eye on Evan.
Eye on Evan, and Deuce has to be in the mix. This is like
got to get a vibe check.
This is like for him, it's like the pre-party at the Academy Awards. He's got to be in there, hobnobbing with everybody.
You were a little dismissive, Fred.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anything from Vrabel stick out to you? He has a lot of respect for the Chargers and the way they play. I felt like that when I listened to him on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, other than like you said while we were watching, maybe he's a little upset that no one offered him a job last year.
Yeah. So he was asked a question sort of later in the press conference. Did he feel like the year away was beneficial at all? And he was like, well, it wasn't really my choice.
Yeah, I didn't have much of a choice or something.
That was
like
all
that.
he said. So I kind of got the impression he's still a little angry that he didn't get an offer last year.
Yeah, I didn't think it was,
No, I thought he was pretty complimentary of the Chargers. I thought, I think I didn't get the impression that he was necessarily saying things that, you remember like when Belichick would talk about the Cleveland Browns and say that, this is an explosive team that can score from anywhere on the field. And then you look and they're like 32nd in scoring. I didn't get any of those.
Yeah.
The things that he talked about, I've
or
looked
they
up,
stink, and he talks about the punter.
I've looked up some of these stats that Mike is talked about on Monday and today, and I already was aware of what the Chargers have done well this year, and those are the things that stick out. They're top 5 in a lot of different things.
Yeah. The other thing that again, the differences between Vrabel and Bill Belichick. Of course, there are many, but the first question was about Thomas Brown getting an interview with Arizona, and if that was posed to Bill would be like, "We're focused on this game."
Yeah.
And Vrabel says, "No, we're always cooperative. We want our people to get these opportunities, and we're always helpful." So like,
it'll be interesting to
difference.
see not just head coaches, but if people are looking at some members of the Patriots staff in general, because they've had such a great year.
Yep.
They obviously have an interesting situation on defense with Terrell Williams dealing with, his health problems. A guy like Zach Core could be, maybe on someone's radar for a defensive coordinator. I don't know necessarily if that would be, something that Core would be interested in. They give permission, all that kind of stuff. But these are the kind of things that happen to teams when they're good playoff teams. These are the kind of problems.
And listen, you'd be like, well, why would they want to leave? Blah, blah, blah. Especially if the Patriots make a deep run. You got to, if you're a person in the NFL, you got a family, whatever, you got to strike while the iron's hot. So,
in that particular case that I just brought up, and that's a complete hypothetical. I have not heard any noise about that at all. But if Terrell Williams comes back, and let's face it, we all hope he does. He's, stronger and healthier than ever. That's what everybody's hoping for. If he comes back and is the defensive coordinator next year, if you're Zach Core and you go back, well, now I'm not the coordinator anymore, and someone wants me to be their coordinator.
Right.
Why wouldn't you consider it?
I may not get that opportunity next year. So I don't blame any of these guys, just as I don't blame free agents for changing teams or coaches for that matter.
And we've talked a lot about they have a handful of former head coaches on staff. Thomas Brown is one of them. He was an interim coach for the Bears. Doug Marrone, Todd Downing has been an offensive coordinator elsewhere. Josh McDaniels, former head coach elsewhere. I think there's going to be interest in some of these guys.
Yeah.
These are the problems that good teams face.
Yep. All right, 855-PATS-500. Let's get back to the phones. Todd's in Gardner. What's up, Todd?
I just want to thank you guys for the journey. When at the start in the preseason and
don't stop believing.
We had some, Yeah, we had some concerns with Hollins, Williams, Diggs, Bradbury. We weren't sure what we were going to get, and I just at that time was looking to say, hey, I don't want to be in the basement in the AFC East. That was my goal for the year. And with everything that's happened, I think I actually will be disappointed if we don't win this game. So that's how far we progressed. And you guys got us there. Like, you guys took us through this whole journey, and we went there together with the ups and downs, and I really appreciate it. But I wonder, how far have you felt that you've progressed from where you started, say, preseason training camp, and where you got to now? All right, guys. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. I mean, for me, it's, I didn't think they would do this in the beginning of the season. So how far have I come? I've come to now thinking we're going to beat the San Diego Chargers in the wild card round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
I would agree.
Who'd have thunk?
And, I think Todd said he would have been happy just not to finish last, and that's what I was thinking. I figured they'd finish third. I thought they would be ahead of the Jets.
I said they'd be
Miami.
second in the AFC East. I'm on record saying
you
that.
Did.
Yeah.
You did, and you were a little bit more optimistic than I was. But I felt, somewhere, 6, 7, 8 wins was definitely reasonable. And I felt like there were a lot. It wasn't just one or two people. There were a handful of people in the local media here that were predicting 10, 11, 12. One had 13. And I will be the first one to admit I laughed at some of that. 10, okay, if everything goes perfectly and Drake May is really good, 10.
I thought 10 was the ceiling.
But 13 I thought was outrageous, and they ended up winning 14. So that's how far in my mind.
Right. I mean, how about George in Kansas? What's up, George? George of the Jungle. Remember that cartoon? George. Yeah.
George.
Are you there, George? George. All right, George is gone. Kansas. There's another person from Kansas. Daniel is in Kansas. What's up, Daniel?
Hey, guys.
What's
going on?
What's happening?
I want to shout you guys out. Thank you very much. Just at work here. Only Patriots fan in a 100-mile radius here in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. Just a quick one for you guys. Do you think Hunter Henry is excited for this weekend? And do you think he'll have a big game considering the Chargers struggled against some tight ends this season?
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Daniel.
I do think Henry's been a pretty important guy for Drake May all season long. He's been pretty consistent, and I expect that to continue. Evan sort of felt like Diggs and Henry would be the focal point for Jesse Minter and the Chargers defense, but I think it's one thing to say we got to take these guys out. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that. I would expect Henry to have an impact on the game.
Yeah, but as Evan said, he thinks that the Chargers will have a plan for Diggs and Henry.
Right.
And why wouldn't they?
Yeah. No, I mean, those are the two guys that you would worry about at the top of the list. I just feel like they're also at the top of that list for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Ted says, and he's in Vegas, the Patriots have the worst strength of schedule, 391, and Denver has the second worst strength of schedule, 422. But I never hear people complain about Denver's easy schedule.
And you don't listen hard enough.
I only hear people complain about the Patriots' schedule. Why does Denver get a pass?
You're not listening hard enough. There's a lot of people that have questioned both of those teams. They're being paper tigers with 14 wins.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, around here, if you listen around here, it's a complete dismissal of Denver because they played so many close games. I think they have 11 one-score wins or something like that.
The dismissal I hear of Denver around here is because of Bo Nix.
Yeah.
But I think he's pretty good.
I just don't think he plays anywhere near the caliber that May has played this year.
No, but I think in crunch time, he's got some sand.
He's been good when he's had to be, but he's not very consistent. And I think in a playoff scenario, you end up not being good for the balance of the game, and there's no game to come back for.
Right. But he's got some sand in his pants.
But yes, there's a lot of criticism for the other teams. The Patriots have not just the worst schedule this year; it's historically the weakest schedule since they've really been tracking this stuff.
Yeah. Chris in New Hampshire has a question. How many wins constitutes a playoff run? And does the number depend on whether or not the team hosts a game? Can a wild card team win less games but still be on a run? Also, to get more into the semantical minutiae, what constitutes a team having a little bit of a playoff run? Hopefully this sparks an argument. I think one game would be a playoff run, right? You win a game and then you're on a run.
So is easy. Yeah, you can't make a play. You made a run to the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's one thing. Yeah.
And if you lose the first game, you didn't make a playoff run.
Yeah. Right. I think he's talking about once you get in there.
Once you get in, I think you have to win a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's saying,
no argument.
He's wondering. That's what I'm saying. But he's wondering if. So for some people, that doesn't constitute a run. You have to win two or more.
No, I think you win a game, you made a run.
Yeah, there's only 4 games total to get to the Super Bowl. 3 to get to the Super Bowl.
And I think his point is by winning a wild card. In other words, if the Patriots lose in the division round and the Broncos lose in the division round, did either one of them make a playoff run? Or did only one of them make a playoff run because the Patriots won a game and then got knocked out and the Broncos had the bye and got knocked out?
Yeah.
I mean, semantics.
Eric from Amherstburg. Evan being so worried about losing sounds like you might want a writer on call if we lose to cover Evan. I'm 32, and if he's being worried about going one and done, it's weak mentality. Wow.
Well, so I'm not sure. I'd like to follow up on that email. Is it weak because you're worried about losing, or weak because you can't handle losing?
I think can't handle it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I would largely
can't
say,
handle the truth.
I would largely say, yeah, great.
Jay in Minnesota says, Evan can't keep doing this. I think on Wednesday and Thursdays, we need to move up the show an hour early. Too many times we have let Evan sneak out early because he's in a great argument with Paul or Fred. We can't keep letting Evan think he's won the argument because he walked out. Also, Deuce, what vibes are we looking for in the locker room? I vote for an hour earlier for the show.
Well, there's another show on before us on Wednesdays from 10 to 12.
Right.
It's called Catch 22 with Evan. And really originally that was kind of the plan, was Evan was going to do Catch 22 and then Mike, Fred, and I would handle Patriots Unfiltered. But Evan can't get enough, Fred, and he stays here for another hour and joins us for our show.
Yep.
There's a lot of other things going on here. Like, just that's the bottom line.
This isn't our main job.
This is my main job. This is what I love to do because Fred and I, like, we majored in arguing and bickering. Like Jerry Madelon, our famous host, loves to call us the odd couple. I think it's very appropriate. But everybody, we all have a lot of other things to do too.
Anthony writes in, just a story about being bummed out. I live in New York, as you may know. Well, I didn't really, but so when the Patriots lose, I hear about it. Not only does it kill my mood and depress me, every single person knows how much I love the Patriots. Afterward, they'll either give me that ha-ha, sucks for you look, or the sorry about your team kind of condescending look. The 2011 Super Bowl was the worst. Some of my closest friends are obviously Giants and Jets fans. I watched in a room full of Giants fans, about 20 people. I walked out immediately after the final play. That loss did something to me, and now whenever they lose, I just feel terrible.
That's a little different. Like, you watch the 2007 Super Bowl with a room full of Giants fans.
Yeah.
Like that, don't you think that's a little different than just like my team lost?
Sure.
And now I'm going to get,
yeah, it's like PTSD shit, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
You're with the Giants fans. They like, that's not like they're making fun of you. Like, their team just won a colossal upset in the Super Bowl. Like, don't you think they should be happy?
Yeah. Yeah. Chris in Virginia, amongst the MVP debate, here's a short quiz relating to MVPs in the postseason for Paul. Since 2000, the Patriots have faced the MVP in the postseason 8 times.
Oof.
The record against the MVP in postseason is 7-1. Can you name the MVP who was defeated by the Patriots in the following seasons? 01.
Kurt Warner.
Right. 03.
McNair and Manning.
That's right.
MVP.
04.
I'm going to guess Manning.
Again. 06.
LT.
That's right. 16.
Matt Ryan.
That's correct. 18.
Mahomes.
That's right. You got it. Finally, for a bonus point, who is the only MVP that the Patriots have lost to in the postseason since 2000?
You're not going to give me the year for that one, huh?
13.
Manning.
That's right. There you go. You can't stump the grump.
I needed the years though. I don't think I would have gotten all those like that. I needed the years. I think Mahomes. He won the MVP and the Super Bowl in like 21, maybe. I don't know. One of those years that the Chiefs won, and that was kind of broke a streak.
I think it was was it 19? The next year?
Maybe it was 19. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Nick in Connecticut. After listening to calls and emails for the past week suggesting nicknames for Drake, I thank God the Patriots Unfiltered listeners are not responsible for creating nicknames.
Wow. That's a listener on listener crime.
I mean,
I like it.
The whole thing about nickname, you can't create it. It just has to be organic. Like, it just happens.
You know, it's funny. I was watching the John Elway documentary on Netflix. Have you seen any of this, Fred? I know you like Elway too. I watched probably like the first 45 minutes or so, and then I got sidetracked. I had to shut it off. But just like they called him the Duke, you know, because they kind of thought he walked a little bit like John Wayne. They called him the Duke of Denver.
Yep.
The Rifleman.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe there's more nicknames out there than we kind of thought.
This one came in yesterday, but I saved it because I do want to answer it. I don't want to duck it. Robert in Portland, Maine says, early in the season, Ramondre Stevenson had fumbles in 2 different games. At the time, the PU crew said that the Patriots didn't have a deep enough bench to take Ramondre out of the rotation, and that even if Ramondre never fumbles again this season, the Patriots should move on from him in the offseason. Ramondre only had 1 more fumble this season and has had multiple clutch plays as we enter the playoffs. Where does the PU crew now stand on Ramondre?
I think I might have said that they will move on from him, not that they should. I would not, but I am higher on Ramondre Stevenson than most. I think he does a lot of different things that help the team win, and I think I would probably change my viewpoint from what I had earlier in the season. Based on the way Mike Vrabel has talked about him throughout the year, I think he's a Vrabel kind of guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. And the reason why I thought they would move on from him had almost nothing to do with the fumbles. It was about, I feel like Mike Vrabel did all he could to sort of move past what was already here. And the ones that he didn't were the guys that had contracts that kind of prohibited it. It wasn't cost effective. And I'm thinking of guys like Mike Owenu, Christian Barmore, Ramondre Stevenson. There were a handful of guys that just got extensions from the previous regime that it wouldn't have necessarily been cost effective to do so. And Stevenson was one of them. But I think he could be part of the future.
Listen, I have to walk it back. I mean, if I remember the feeling, I don't know if I was the one who said those words, but I remember the feeling like you just can't tolerate that. You just can't have a guy out there dropping the ball. So I remember thinking that, but listen, that's why Mike Vrabel's a head coach in the NFL and I'm not. He dealt with the situation perfectly, and
he did.
And so thank God I'm not the head coach and he is.
But I think people do forget, and I agree with you that I thought Vrabel handled it really, really well. His workload was drastically reduced.
Oh, it was, and it had to be.
You know, he didn't get benched.
That's negligence if you keep that out there.
But I think people with, you know, the results of the last month have rewritten history a little bit. Like, nothing changed. Oh, no. Something changed.
Yes.
His workload was diminished in the immediate aftermath of those
no doubt.
fumbles. And he gradually earned the trust
And remember,
back.
you had Gibson back there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's part of where he lost some carries to.
Right.
And then Henderson eventually emerged.
Yep.
Because Henderson got off to a slow start.
Yep.
And then, you know, about halfway through, it was probably that Tampa game.
Yeah.
That Henderson hit a couple of big plays and was like, whoa, you know, now we got this explosive guy. Then eventually, I think Stevenson, you know, earned his way back in. Earned the circle of trust.
Let's just say that Gibson got hurt in training camp or never made it the season, or he got hurt in the first game or whatever, and you only had Henderson and Stevenson. I don't know if then in the trade deadline, if Vrabel would have gone and gotten a running back.
So at the trade deadline, Gibson had been hurt. They could have made a move then.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But I'm just saying, I want to say the last fumble that that Ramondre had was the first Buffalo game, which was like week 5.
Week 5. Yeah.
So there were a couple of weeks there that he didn't get as many carries as he had.
That's
been.
true. He didn't. His
and then
workload-
eventually, like he was out there like late game pass protection situations. You know, that's when he got his snaps.
Yep.
He didn't get as many touches there for a couple of weeks.
That's true. Rick in Riverside, Rhode Island. It's a lot of R's. Like most Patriots fans, I believe we are currently playing with house money, but I think the Patriots can win it all this year. 1, the run game has found its groove, hitting the playoffs. 2, overall team health is improving. 3, the players seem bought into Vrabel's message. 4, Drake may. Win, lose, or draw, this has been successful. Let's hope for 4 more wins. Okay?
I would largely agree with everything about that email. Yeah. It's a rarity for me. Nothing to nitpick.
Joe, if the haters are right and you weren't really that good, then be happy you got a fun season when you probably shouldn't have. Fool's gold is only a bad thing if you don't believe that you have gold.
I largely agree with that,
Yeah,
too.
that's a good way of looking at it, too. If you really don't think you're that good, then it's all gravy.
But you also, I would look at it as, again, completely from the team perspective, maybe I'm not that good this year, but I'm only going to get better. That's the way you look at it as a fan. Imagine what we're going to do next year. Now, I would be disappointed because I think this is an opportunity, because I don't look at the teams in the AFC as being better than the Patriots. Yeah. Next year, the Patriots could very well be better than they are now, but they might be 2 teams that have reloaded and are better than you.
Yeah.
And it'll be that much harder to make a run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would look at it as, maybe we're not quite as good as our record this year, but Drake May is going to be better. You might get him another weapon to work with on the outside. Maybe Kyle Williams becomes a really dangerous guy next year for him after a slow rookie year. I think he only caught 10 passes all season. Maybe next year he's a guy who catches 70 passes for you when you have become a dangerous offense all over again. So I think there's a lot to be excited about in the future, not just now.
Max in Atlanta. My post-vote MVP take. Drake May is the MVP, and unless voters accidentally watch the games, he probably won't win it. At this point, MVP voting feels like sort by touchdowns, then close spreadsheet. For example, the other 2 most efficient seasons, in my opinion, are Breeze in 18 and Goff in 24. In 18, Breeze had 74%, 4,000 yards, 36 touchdowns, lost to Mahomes, who had 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. 24.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Which one of those 2 you think is better?
I think Mahomes.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. 24,
Goff had 72%, 4,700 yards about, and 37 TDs. Lost to Josh Allen, who had 4.2 thousand yards and 47 TDs. Again, I don't know.
Was that last year?
Last year.
Well, Jared Goff wasn't really even in consideration. It was Lamar Jackson last year who had vastly better numbers. So if they were just painting by touchdown numbers, Lamar Jackson would have won it last year.
May's been more efficient, more consistent, adds rushing, which should matter, but history says it probably didn't. Feels like another year where voters rewarded Stat Padford and called it a day.
See, that's
those are
the guys.
Good. I like that.
Well, Evan just said that.
Stat Padford?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
Oh, that was in the whole 1-yard touchdown pass rant.
Okay.
Like those don't count,
Yeah.
Like the touchdown on 4th and goal in Tampa Bay to Diggs, that doesn't count. It was a 1-yard touchdown.
See, here's the thing, though.
Don't count. Dismiss
you
it.
can't say that the 1-yard touchdowns don't count and then say, oh, the Patriots have trouble in the red zone. Well, that's where you have 1-yard touchdown passes in the red zone.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah. So, listen, I think Drake May should be MVP, too.
I think he should be MVP. He would get my vote. I don't have one, unfortunately. I just don't look at this as not being close, the way so many Patriots fans have tried to frame it.
Ben in Manhattan says, Paul dismissed the notion that the difference in quarterbacking between May and Stafford is significant enough to impact the team's record this year. I would argue the Patriots have won against the Raiders week 1 or the Steelers week 3 with Stafford, but I can't imagine Stafford would have been able to pull off the game against the Bills in week 5. May didn't account for a touchdown in the stat sheet, but this was undoubtedly a game that was razor thin and required pure athleticism to evade constant pressure for both underneath completions and deep balls.
Great email.
This game wasn't won by McDaniels, but by the freakish athleticism and aggressiveness of May in the second half.
So I'm going to tell you, this is so funny. It's almost like that email was listening to Mike Dussault and I.
Oh, yeah?
About 9 o'clock this morning. I was talking about the different thing. I was like, yeah, you know how like these random things pop back in my head. I go, like that guy yesterday that was claiming that I was saying that Drake May didn't win any games couldn't have been further from the truth. Oh, it was the way he said that was what kind of rankled me. Not that he disagreed that they would have had the same record or not. But I think you could make a strong argument that if they had Stafford, they might have gone 16-1. Because I agree with the emailer. I don't see them losing to the Raiders or the Steelers. Now, I just say 14-3 because Stafford lost to some bad teams. Stafford lost to Carolina. Stafford lost to Atlanta. Like, they lost to some bad teams. It happens. Like, you can have a subpar game. And that was actually, I said, this is all sort of flawed because the game isn't the same. But the Buffalo game, which is exactly the game I brought up to Deuce, I said, Stafford doesn't win doing that.
Right.
Doing what Drake May had to do in the second half in Buffalo with some of those plays. Stafford's not capable of making those plays anymore. Now, maybe he wouldn't have had to. Who knows?
Right.
But I would say, just on the surface, if you had a really good quarterback, you were going to win 14 games with that schedule. I think Mahomes would have won 14 games with that schedule. I think Josh Allen would have won 14 games, if he was playing for the Patriots this year. I don't think that's disrespectful.
Okay.
But if you want to tell me Jacoby Brissett would have won 14 games, no chance.
No.
They would not have been over 500 with Jacoby Brissett playing quarterback. Again, I think you don't just like plug in any stiff. I'm asking the guy who's going to finish second in the MVP voting to Drake May, what would he have done with the Patriots?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is with the talent around him, would a quarterback who doesn't have the mobility of May been able to to win those games?
I think he would have.
Because so often, even in games that against these lesser teams, May had to run around.
No, I know, but did he have to or did he?
I think he had to.
I don't.
Okay.
I think that's the way he likes to play. I think that some of the sacks that he took, I don't think Stafford would have been sacked nearly as many times as May.
All right.
Because he wouldn't be holding the ball looking to extend plays like that. Now, he probably would have sacrificed some big plays that May made.
Yeah.
But he may have gotten some.
Back from the locker room, what was the mood? Were the players friendly to that? None of them looked like Derrick Henry. Hey, Mike, what was it like in the locker room? Hey, Mike, what was it like?
Well,
it was busy.
We're waiting.
Did it live up to your
packed.
expectations?
No, it was. It was tough. We went right into Stephon Diggs, biggest scrum I've seen, and then it was literally like we got out of Diggs, and then Campbell was already like completely insulated by like 5 layers of cameras, so couldn't even get in on him. We also heard from Robert Spillane, talked to him, and we talked to Christian Gonzalez. So start with Spillane, targeting this week to come back, and feels good, and seemed really excited.
He's ready to lead them.
He's back and ready to lead them. Because I forgot, he said he had 2 playoff games before. I'm guessing one was with Pittsburgh, but he just said a lot of talk in the locker room too, just about the young guys, and there's a lot of guys. This would be their first chance to play, and he just said, "Let's go out there and let it rip." So they all seem excited. Diggs, continues to just calm, cool presence and talking a little bit about we all we need, and that's kind of become the mantra now for the playoffs. So it was a lot of energy in the locker room, and just from the players, it seems like they're just really excited to host a game at home and to get the crowd going. They were all talking about how excited they were to have the fans here.
A lot of national people?
A lot of national people.
Really?
I didn't recognize
Notables?
nobody I know. Nobody like no Sal Pal or anything like that. Nobody that I recognized. But
None of the NBC people yet?
No, not that I've seen, but there were just, a lot of new faces. And the other, Terrell Williams, the defensive coordinator, walked through as well.
Walked through.
And he was.
How's he looking?
I look fine. I mean, he wasn't moving too fast. Like he doesn't really. He kind of ambles. But good to see him there. He kind of took note of Will Campbell being surrounded by all the cameras.
I remember there was a day when your rookie lineman wouldn't talk to the media.
Yeah.
Like all the talking was done by,
rookies in general.
Yeah, no.
Belichick didn't. A lot of rookies spoke.
And then
often.
Will. He's been pretty much
And now
every week.
He's a spokesman.
Yeah, he does really good at it too.
Oh,
I mean,
he's great.
he's got short answers.
He might be my favorite player.
Yeah, he doesn't get himself in trouble trying to over talk or over explain things. He just little smile, little southern drawl, and says what he says. But
I
no,
go on a shopping spree with him at Bass Pro.
Oh man, that would be. You'd be excited. I bet.
It's a good way to go about business.
Yeah. So good vibes and just a little bit of you can just feel the energy kind of up a little bit of an uptick.
Yeah.
In terms of the vibes and.
Now, would you say the energy, is that the energy from the media or the players?
Well, that's a good question, Fred. I would say kind of probably generated more from the media right now, where it feels like the players are kind of
because
trying,
they're fans.
Yeah, well, Diggs
You said it, not me.
Diggs specifically said, when you guys talked to me on Wednesday, I kind of try to keep it calm during these days, and then game day I let it rip and let it all out. So, a little reserved, but you could just tell they're holding it back a little bit, and there's just there's an urgency now that I would say kind of hovers over everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eye on Evan?
I haven't. I mean, in the scrums, it was hard to. There was so much traffic.
Was he being jostled, or did he hold his own?
No, I think he held his own. Barth was there to protect him as well, so the two of them banded together.
Oh,
and
wow.
made sure. But
did he have to fight anybody?
Nerd
power.
No.
Did he have to fight anybody that suggested they didn't play a tough
fights.
schedule?
No Lazar fights. But everybody's there. All hands on deck today. So yeah.
I wonder how many of the people that are bothering Evan on the various social platforms are actually people in the media going under pseudonyms.
I hope so. I hope
that would be great.
Like Barth has a burner that he just trolls Evan constantly with.
Right.
That would make sense to me.
Yeah. So good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff for sure. I cut out just 10 minutes early so I could come back in and share. So I'm sure there'll probably be another scrum or two in there. But yeah, they're ready to go. Robert Spillane.
Landry around? You see him?
Did not see Landry.
How about Tonga?
Did not see Tonga.
Okay.
Tonga. But like I know Mike named some of the guys that
sick.
Sorry, Vrabes.
Yeah.
That are sick. So maybe they're with them. A lot
If you want
going
to be part
on.
of the media, you have to call him Vrabes.
Okay, thank you. But again, I'm kind of buried in the scrum, and guys are walking through all the time, so it's very possible they walk through and I didn't see them, but I did not see them. No.
Okay. A lot of cameras.
I mean, it's a fight.
It's playoff time, Freddie.
And I
It's a lot
felt
of
bad because
activity.
my arm got kind of sandwiched between a girl and a camera, and I was like, I'm in a precarious
You get a
spot here right
hyperextension?
now. No, I was very worried about where my arm.
Does HR want to work?
No, I was very concerned about that, and
Be
then I saw
careful.
my opportunity. I had to remove my arm from that position because it was.
I know. I
it was
shouldn't
in a
laugh.
bad spot.
I think it's funny if a media person went down and Vrabel came out and put hands on the media person.
Rise, my son. Go forth and
By the
conquer.
way, I meant to tell you, I was on 109, and at your memorial, somebody put a wreath made out of toilet paper.
That's
So I
great.
thought that was really nice.
What were you doing there?
For the holidays.
What were you doing
I
there?
was just
Freddie?
driving by.
There it is. Huh?
Yeah.
Paul.
It was off of that, but yeah.
All right.
Deep dive.
All right. That's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We'll be back tomorrow. Big day.
With picks.
Playoffs. We'll
Playoff
announce who
picks.
won the regular season, and we'll move into the playoffs
We don't need
tomorrow.
to announce that.
So
We'll just let it go. We don't need to announce it. It'll be fine.
all right. We'll see you then.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.